First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone, while unto his truth, and also to those elect that are scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the title of today's lesson is Transition to a New System. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick Google search here by UNINES Science Report 2021. So this report came out in 2021. We're just going to read a little bit of this article here. It said Digital Societies, a Common Agenda. So that's what we're fastly approaching, what a digital society, a society that whereby everything is going to be digital, programmable, also implantable under the skin. So we coming upon this technology as we speak, the fourth industrial revolution. It is fast approaching. So we seeing it with our own eyes, surveillance, biometrics, also robotics, and also what this artificial intelligence, is taking over left and right. So let's get a little bit of this article. It said most countries are convinced that their future economic competitiveness will depend upon how well they succeed in transitioning to digital society. Said digital technology are transforming society as we know it. That this rapid upheaval has been termed the fourth industrial revolution or industry 4.0. It said among cross-cutting technologies of high reverence of industrial 4.0, it is the field of artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics that dominates scientific output. Said in 2018 and 2019 in countries of all income levels. So that's all we're gonna get of this, but we're seeing right now that it's already had begun in China, and also it went to Sweden, also different parts of Europe, and also now it's coming over here in America. So we already knowing that China was the blueprint, about these devices under the skin, these smart devices under the skin. So when you go into that acronym SMART, it goes into surveillance, goes into monitoring, analysis, reporting, and technology. So we coming upon a society that's going to be under heavy surveillance. Big brother is watching. And the men of the Lord, we're constantly warning you about these things. The MOTB, the mark of the beast. It's fast approaching that grain of rice. That is the true agenda. So we're coming upon fast approaching this time. So we knowing that 2025 has came in with a bang, very prophetic, and these things are constantly picking up left and right. Things are speeding up, and we're seeing now that these prophecies are now are more manifest. They're more obvious and clear that we're living in the last days. Also, we knowing that we right upon that time of trouble that we have never seen before, Jacob's trouble, and also that hour of temptation where everyone on the planet is getting ready to be tried. You will not be able to buy or sell unless you be a part of this new digital society, this new blockchain technology that they're getting ready to come, this new beast banking system. Revelation chapter 13 is speaking loud and clear in the middle of law. We have been warning you, for over the centuries, basically, this been already been prophesied. And when you go into that word, prophesied means to say before, so one thing about it, the Lord always send his men out in the highways and byways, making these video pistols left and right, whether you were here or whether you will forbear, because right now we are here. So now they are setting the stage for this new system, this new world order, this new currency that they're getting ready to come, a new cashless society. In the middle of the Lord, we're constantly warning you, left and right, you will not be able to do anything unless you be a part of this new system, this new society that they're getting ready to bring forth. That anyone that will not comply or will not consent will be put to death. And we're constantly warning you left and right. A lot of people are what? In the house of mirth, still happy-go-lucky, but things are getting ready to get very, very perilous. Things are getting ready to get very dangerous. We're living in some dark, perilous time, some evil time. Evils are growing left and right. So we're coming upon this, a transition to a new system. So now, before we start today's video, let's get this quick precept. Let's go here to Isaiah. Let's go here to Isaiah chapter 42. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 9. It said, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare before they spring forth. I tell you of them. And so one thing about, we know about the former things that had passed. We know about slavery, 70 AD. You know what I'm saying? We know about all those things. We know about happening in Bible time. But the Lord is showing us a new thing. You know what I'm saying? These future prophetic events, which in fact are now. You know what I'm saying? We're living in a latter time. And about how is he saying this before? He tell you these things before they happen through the what? Through his mouthpiece, through the what? Through the prophets. You know what I'm saying? We're constantly sighing and crying left and right, warning you of what evil, warning you of pestilence, warning you of a judgment, warning you of what the MOTB, RFD microchip, warning you of what? A war, World War III. The last and final war, right before the what? The great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So let's read this in the NLT. You know what I'm saying? It says, everything I prophesied, has come true. Say, and now will I prophesy again. And once again, we go to that word prophesy, to say before. It said again, and I will tell you the future before it happens. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're constantly warning you. We're telling you, do not take this new system that they're getting ready to play. We're telling you, about the devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. We're also, we knowing that what's getting ready, we are watching, all the time. We are, observing, we are measuring the time diligently, seeing what the scriptures, the word is going to say through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So right now, we know that Super Bowl would be tomorrow, and I did about it, I always got to be watching. We don't know what may come of this Super Bowl, but one thing about it, we're going to always be watching, because we already know that this devil is getting ready to make his move. And also we know that main goal, that main agenda is that grain of rice, that RFD microchip, try to make you a petrol slave. And one thing about it, a lot of people right now are becoming to see that what the men of the Lord was saying was true. He said, in that day, he said, when these prophecies come to pass, the signs of the times right now, he said, they shall know that a prophet had been among them. So let's read this once again. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 9, it said, behold, the former things are come to pass. It said, and new things do I declare before they spring forth, and I tell you of them. And that's what we're doing. The Lord is doing a new thing right now. We're in a transition of power. Not about we knowing that Esau is the end of this earth age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. We know that the kingdom of heaven is fast approaching, that dwells in righteousness. That's that new thing that the Lord is showing us right now. That's why we're very excited. We are hastening his great and glorious return. We're asking the Lord, how long? So now, before we start today's video, let's go to this disclaimer. I started putting it up, so we won't get a copyright strike or nothing. I started this disclaimer right quick. Let's get this right quick before we start today's video. Just to play this, just to be on the safe side.
Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
So, right now, this is only fair use just for educational purpose. That's all this is for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not profiting from this, just educational purpose only. You know what I'm saying? Fair use. So now let's start today's video. And after the video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified.
Let's take a look at artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, Neuralink, and Microsoft's patent. WO 2020-060606. Could they be connected to the Mark of the Beast? The Mark of the Beast is referenced in the Book of Revelation, referencing to a mark placed on individuals' foreheads or hands that indicates their allegiance to the Antichrist. In recent years, this concept has been linked to rising technological advancements such as artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, Neuralink, and Microsoft's patent, WO 2020-060606. One of the primary connections between these concepts is the potential for them to facilitate greater control over individual freedom and autonomy. AI has the ability to gather and analyze vast amounts of data on individuals, allowing governments and corporations to track and monitor their every move. Cryptocurrency, while initially marketed as a decentralized alternative to traditional financial systems, has the potential to be used as a tool for tracking and controlling individuals' financial transactions. Similarly, Neuralink's invasive brain-computer interface technology could allow for unprecedented levels of surveillance and manipulation of individuals' thoughts and behaviors. Microsoft's patent, WO 2020-060606, further adds to these concerns as it proposes a new cryptocurrency system that uses body activity data such as brainwaves or body heat for mining and transaction verification. This has led to speculation that the patent is linked to the mark of the beast, with some suggesting that the body activity data could eventually be used as a means of tracking and controlling individuals, even to include their ability to buy and sell. Overall, these technologies have the potential to drastically alter the relationship between individuals and the systems of power that govern their lives. While there are undoubtedly benefits to these advancements, such as increased efficiency and convenience, it is important to consider the potential risks and ethical implications of allowing these technologies to grow unchecked. As this connection to the mark of the beast illustrates, the stakes are high, and we must approach these issues with caution and critical thinking. Not to mention, if you factor in biological identification with a signature that is unique to your genome, your biology, claimed for security purposes, it would be almost impossible to counterfeit such a thing. We need to really pay attention to what's happening, not to be afraid, but to be aware and to be ready. Jesus.
When Elias Brodberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID. And he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
Like touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all on chip, so I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks.
Exactly.
So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip, and it will log me in, and from there I get access to the fridge.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install in-grain procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go.
In Sweden, the microchips are already here.
The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards.
Which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought it would be fun, right?
The process is simple and swift. A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. As for the pain,
I barely felt it.
but even in this nation of early adopters, not everyone is racing to get chipped.
Feel less human. I will feel like a robot.
I think, so much more data can go into this, when it's in your body.
There's no central registry tracking how many people are chipped, but biohacker Hannes Wellblood estimates between 5,000 and 10,000.
In the future, do you think everyone is going to be chipped?
I think it'll be voluntary, but I am certainly convinced that millions of people will find it very, very valuable to have a smart device under their skin.
Human microchipping may be our future, but in Sweden, it's already reality. Sarah Harmon, NBC News, Stockholm.
NBC When this guy made his payment at the shop, he casually tapped his hand on the scanner, and to the cashier's surprise, the payment went through, leaving him stunned. What he didn't know was that the guy had a tiny chip implanted in his hand called an RFID chip, and it works in a way similar to a credit card, just with more features. The chip is inserted with a small injection and sits just under the skin, which is later programmed using a phone. After that, it's like having a hidden superpower with which you can unlock doors, make payments, and even open your car doors.
So now let's start today's lesson. We'll start out in let's start here in Psalm chapter. So we're seeing in these videos, that we are transitioning into that digital society, and a lot of people right now still are not watching, not aware. When these things come upon you, a lot of people are gonna get caught up. A lot of people are going to submit. A lot of people are going to trust in this system. They're going to trust in this technology, and they're going to be totally destroyed. And one thing about it, the mental law, that's what we're constantly warning you about it, left and right. That is their true agenda. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Psalms, let's go here to Psalm. Quick lesson through the Spirit, just rolling in the Spirit. Psalm chapter 64. And we'll start up at verse 5. Psalm chapter 64 and verse 5 said, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune in laying snares perfectly. They say, who shall see them? So right now they encourage themselves in an evil matter. That evil matter is this NWO, one world currency, one world government, one world religion. It's slowly and gradually it's coming full circle. The devil's getting ready to try to fill his belly, but the Lord said his hands would not perform his enterprise. And it says, who shall see them? So let's read in the NLT. It says, they encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. So whoever noticed, they ask. So one thing about it, who see them is Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, and also the prophet, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord is constantly making Esau barren and bare, and also the Lord is constantly removing the covering cast, that gross darkness and lies and deception that was over the nation. The Lord is pulling the veil back. And one thing about it, all things will be exposed, so, things that was in the dark is coming to light. Things that was covered is being uncovered through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. That's what they encourage themselves in that evil plan, that evil matter. Once again, this new agenda, Project 25. We seeing that DJ Donald Trump, he's trying to, bring forth that totalitarian, that draconian laws, these unrighteous decrees, constantly, writing these executive orders left and right. Is only going to lead to that grain of rice. In the mental law, we constantly been warning you left and right. We say before, we constantly telling you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Verse 6 is that they search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thoughts of every one of them, and the heart is deep. So one thing about it, they search it out. It says in I can't think what chapter it was in it. It said you are wiser than Daniel. So one thing about it, the Lord has gave this man this blessing. The sword. That sword also goes into that technology, AI, biometrics. Face recognition. A lot of things are coming into play. This 5G, 6G blockchain system, social credit score, universal basic income. These things are coming all the way live. Eye retina scan. A lot of things come. Palm reading. Biometrics. Digital IDs, the RFD microchip, that grain of rice, the MOTB. We constantly warn you. They searched it out. It says here, verse 6 says, as they plot their crimes, they say, we have devised the perfect plan. Yes, the human's heart and mind are cunning. So one thing about it, the perfect plan is that this the NWO, this system that they're putting into play. But one thing about it, he's imagining a vain thing. It says here, verse 7 said, but the Almighty shall shoot at them with a arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So the Lord is getting ready, to bring that fury, that wrath upon it, that fire, that blazing chariot fire, like he had never seen before. The Lord is getting ready to destroy this man. He's getting ready to destroy his kingdom. He's getting ready to destroy his rulership. This man at the end of his rulership, he got bounds that he cannot pass. Verse 8, it says here, and so also them arrows goes into them IBCM missiles. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, we get very close. Things can go nuclear at any given time. We're very close. All these nations are preparing for war. We're seeing the society, everything is digital. We're seeing, your credit card have a chip in it. Pretty much everything have chips in it now. So, and they trying to put that chip inside of you to make you a walking device. That's all I'm going to be able to go into. You want to go too deep, they will pull the video down. Verse 8 says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So that's exactly what the Lord is doing. He causing their tongue to fall upon them. He's telling off on themselves, revealing a lot of different things. So we're seeing right now, the Lord is using DJ Donald Trump, which in fact is a Nero reincarnated. We believe through the Spirit, and we see that the Lord is, he's constantly exposing and doing different things. And also Elon Musk, we're seeing that right now, they're constantly divided. You know what I'm saying? We already know that a nation that is divided, it cannot stand. So we already know that the Republican, the Democrat going back and forth, the Flavian and the Patrician, so, back in Roman time, so, there's no new thing under the sun. So we see that we're here. So let's go here now to 1 Thessalonians. Let's go here. Just very quick lesson, just rolling in the spirit. And man, we live in this very exciting time. Let's go here straight to the point. Let's go here to verse 7. It said, for the mystery of iniquity do already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way. We already in the mystery of iniquity that's working right now. Is what Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. And out of the Bible, we know that when you go to Job chapter 9 and verse 24, it says, the earth was giving into his hands, only for it's what? A short season. We're in that short season right now. And one thing about it, he's thinking that he's doing these things on his own will, but he's doing the will of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua on the left-hand side. That's why the Lord said, the Most High said, he is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua will let until he be taken out the way. So he only have a certain time. The Lord's getting ready to take this red devil out of the way. Verse 8, it said, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So when the Lord returned, that's why the Lord said, look to the east, to the brightness of his coming. So the Lord is going to come on that fathership with great glory and great power. And out of the Lord is going to come back as a great angelic force. You know what I'm saying? He's going to put down all of these nations, all of these rulership. And we cannot wait. The Lord is getting ready to do a mighty work. He's going to destroy this man. We cannot wait. So right now, we constantly revealing this man through the what? Through this wisdom, through this knowledge, through this gospel, this gospel is being preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Then shall the end come. Why is it being preached through the four corners of the earth? Because we were scattered into all nations. Then shall the end come. We are very close. The Lord is getting ready to show up. Verse 9, Salak, he said, see, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonder. Who is the physical counterpart of Satan, the so-called white man, the red man of Genesis chapter 25? You know what I'm saying? The devil that the Bible speaks of, this signs and lying wonders, this technology, these lying miracles. This man is coming with this counterfeit powers and signs and miracles. A lot of people are going to be deceived. A lot of people are going to be tricked. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are going to be totally destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Many shall be taken in a great number. So one thing about it, trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. We already knowing about that Neuralink, RFD, this RFD microchip. You know what I'm saying? They used in a man that was paralyzed. You can walk again. You'll be able to see again. You'll be a superhero. You'll be immortals. Telling you all these different lines. This pseudo technology, this pseudo salvation, will only lead to your death and destruction. The Lord said, trust and believe in him. The Lord said, do not take it. And one thing about it, if you take it, you're going to suffer that's what? Second death. Verse 10, it said, and with all deceivingness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So a lot of people, they're going to get caught up in all these, every kind of evil deception. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be you're just walking like blind men, ready to be destroyed. So we coming upon this time, we got a lot of recipes here, good for nothing. A lot of people's in the house of mirth, drinking and being merry. As of the days of Noah, as of the days of right now, there is no new thing under the sun. But this time around, the Lord is going to destroy the earth with fire, certain parts of the earth. So the earth will abide forever. The Lord is going to, this earth age, as we know it, with fire. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, the Lord is getting ready to return, man. Verse 11 says, and for this cause the Almighty shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie. So a lot of people right now, they don't believe that this technology is not the mark of the beast. A lot of people believe that it's some type of trending technology, something that is convenient, very safe. It's very harmless, and it's very useful, very convenient and fast. And you are going to be caught up. And you are going to be totally destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, the Lord already said you will be cast in the lake of fire. It says here, verse 12, it said that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasures in unrighteousness. So there's a lot of people right there have pleasures in what? In unrighteousness. They love this world. The Lord said the wisdom of this world is foolishness to him. And if you're not seeking Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, you're only seeking death. If you live like a heathen, you're getting ready to die like a heathen. If you love it here, you get ready to die here. If you're not getting beamed up, you're getting burnt up. If you're not ready to rule, you're getting ready to die. It's plain and simple. So now, let's go here to Revelation chapter 13. Let's go to the meat. Let's go here to Revelation chapter 16, straight to the point. And one thing about it, we already know that we are very close to this time of trouble that we've never seen before. Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. Time to get prepared. And the only way you will be prepared is through who? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, if you're a part of the election. The Lord is only coming back for that 1/3 remnant. And one thing about it's time to wake up and seek your true power while he still can be found. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16 is, and he causes all, both small, great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, the charagma, in their right hand or in their forehead, that Neuralink, that grain of rice, the RFD microchip. These things are already here. And also it's going to be a global event. That means everyone is getting ready to be introduced to this new system, this new way of life that they're trying to bring forth. This new society, this new cashless society, this new digital programmable, also implantable under your skin. So now let's go here to, let's look up that word mark. Let's go into it right quick. That's a quick, goes over it all the time, but we're going to get it right quick for edification purpose. Let's go here to that mark. Let's go here, let's see where it's at. One moment. Let's go here to G5480. It says here, charagma.
Strong's G5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Charagma. Man, I'm telling you. Let's see here. It says here, it's a stamp and imprint mark. It says here, of the mark stamp of the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. But we know that there are many Antichrists, not only one. If you're not a believer, then you are Antichrist. If you believe everyone can be saved, the Lord love everyone, you are a Antichrist. And one thing about it, if you constantly scoffing and mocking the prophets, and thinking that you have free will, then you are an Antichrist, and so forth and so forth. It says once again, it's a stamp, a imprinted mark. So we seen in those videos how they was applying that charagma, that mark. It says here, it says a scratch or a etching stamp, a badge of servitude, or, you know what I'm saying? That's what we need right there. So we see it right there, a badge of servitude to make you a perpetual slave. So if you carry that mark, that means you're under his system, you know what I'm saying? And you bow down to him, which in fact to an idol. The Lord said, have no idols before him. You take this idol, then you will be totally destroyed. Trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So let's go into the root word. Let's go to here to Karax. Let's go in this one here. Let's go here. Karax. Let's get this one here.
Strong's G 5482. Karax.
Karax. Let's see here. It said a pale or steak, a pastel, or rapport. So you pretty much get the picture. So we seen in that last video, I muted the sound I just wanted you to see how they use it and how they apply it. So that stamp, that steak or that pail that they use, or that syringe, we don't want to go too far into it, to apply it. You see how they did it. So, so that's, man, I'm telling you, the Bible is spot on. See what else we got here. It says sharpen to a point. We already know about that point. To take it and put, inside of you, scratching, man, there's a lot of these things, man, this is powerful. So we see right there, we don't want to get too close into it. It says sharpen to a point. So this, man, I'm telling you, man, this is something here. Let's see what else we got here. Let's go into this word right here, grappo. Let's get grappo.
Strong's G 1125. Grapho.
It's grapho. It said to write with reference the form of the letters. So basically, just go ahead on and break it down to you a little bit more. It's going into receiving. It's receiving data. Transmitting. So you can understand surveillance. Pretty much all your. Everything that you do. I had to put it in simpler terms like that. So this going into receiving, transmitting, and into data, into that RFD microchip. Everything is going to be inside of that RFD microchip, even your money, your driver's license, your insurance, your medical history, and so forth and so forth. Also, you'll be able to open and close doors. Also, you will be able to make your purchase with it, just wave your hand. That's why I said here in Revelation chapter 13, let's go back there. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 13. Salakia, let's go back out of here. Just getting a little bit. And also we break it down from time to time, but we have to be careful. It says here, now let's start back up. It said, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, to charagma in their right hand or in their forehead, that Neuralink, the RFD microchip. It said, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So part of this system, in order to buy and sell, you got to be a part of this system. They're gonna be transmitting, and receiving, scanning. You wave your hand. That's why I say it shall go into your forehead or into your right hand. That RFD microchip, also that Neuralink that will be in some part of your head. So hey, man, we're seeing that these things are coming full to which we're seeing that transitioning right before our eyes. These things are happening. So you will not be able to buy or sell if you not have that under your skin. Verse 18 said, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 600. 66. So one thing about it is that's going into this system. We were seeing in the first video about this ID 2020. Look it up. I can't go into it too deep, or they will take the video down. So we seeing right here. Let's see where we can go. Let's get a little bit of this. We ain't going too much, but we know that 666 is going into tri-style stigma. And I don't think I want to go into too much because we have to be very careful. So this right here, you see this G5516. 5516 right here. It said right here.
Strong's G5516. Chai, Xi, stigma. Chai, Xi, stigma.
So let's go into the part of the stigma part of it, but this is a whole lot deeper. See these numbers down here. And one thing about it is be on a lot of these different how can I say it? But I don't want to go too deep in it, but I'm just showing you some of this. I can go back into certain lesson. I have done this before, but we're gonna leave it at that because I know I got to get camped soon. But it's a lot of. I mean, this is deep. So we see those the three lines. You see these lines in lining up. It's telling you it goes into a lot of different things. Things that they do. I don't want to go too deep in it because so when you look up tri-style stigma, it goes into this. Back in Roman time, they used to brand their soldiers with this tattoo. So it's just like a badge of servitude to knowing who you was, what commander or general, who you were, who was in charge of you. So if you take that grain of rice, that badge of servitude, you're gonna have that badge of servitude, this mark, this imprint, this tattoo, things like that. So it's going into that. So, but let's get out of this here and let's read that once again, and we'll close out. It says here, Revelation chapter 13, verse 18, say, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding. Who has to understand? The true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, started with the 140, the prophets, the 144, and also the true believers. And it says here, it said, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 603 You know what I'm saying? 666. So that's what we, a lot of people right now are beginning to see that number more often and often. It's getting more clearer and clearer that we're here. You know what I'm saying? We're living in the end. At the end, it shall speak and not lie. So let's get this last one. So this is the punishment for taking if you take that under the skin. Let's go to verse 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast or his image, this system, this technology, and receive his mark, the charagma, RFD microchip of the what Neuralink in his forehead or in his hand, just wave your hand. Verse 10, it said, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Almighty, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation or righteous anger, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. Verse 11 said, and the smoke of their torments as it ascended up forever and forever. They have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receives the charagma in his name. So one thing about it is exactly what's going to happen to you. You will suffer that second death, the lake of fire. The Lord said, lean not on your own understanding, but trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So now we know that we're transitioning very quickly to this cashless society, this digital society. You'll be on a 24 surveillance. Big Brother is watching. Biometric, transhumanism. You know what I'm saying? AI, robotics. You know what I'm saying? This new digital money, where they're going to place it under the skin. Also, you are going to be a walking device. If you consent or if you comply, you are going to have to suffer this second death, which in fact is the lake of fire. The lake of fire is what America, Babylon the Great. This place is getting ready to be a lake of fire. How is going to be a lake of fire? With all those IBCM missiles, they're going to be hitting from all different countries. You know what I'm saying? They shall burn the whore. The middle Lord, we're constantly warning you left and right. We are here. It is at the door. So the title of the daily lesson, once again, is Transition to a New System. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.